we have talked about backup, right? Any question, anything related to backup? So from today here onwards, we are going and we are starting a very important concept called automation. Now, you might ask a question that we have just finished the backup. What about the replication, performance tuning, clustering, all those concepts where why we are not starting that, why we are just jumping into the automation. So my analogy or my justification behind that is once we complete the backup, if we start understanding about the automation, we can start thinking from the direction where we can automate all these backup or other topics that are going to come into our classes. So basically, I want to teach you automation and I want you to be ready with the automation understanding so that all the next topic and all, wherever we can use, I can show you the automation step. So the first thing is I want to save time. Second thing, I want to get introduced you people with the new on automation tips and techniques. So today I'm going to give you a perspective of automation of, from a very different way actually, because most of the time being a DBA, we just think that automation is just automating the backup, automating certain task. But I want take your knowledge to the next level and try to understand all the automation way and all the possible workflows that we have to understand to create a automation. And this automation is not only limited to the databases. Okay. First intention is database, also from the application point of view, and also from AI and ML point of view. Okay. The main reason to teach you automation is only two things, the database and AI and ML. Okay. Application is not your part, but just small understanding about application is also going to help you a lot. So we'll talk about that also. Wherever you think that terminology, words, or technology name is not clear to you, please stop me. Don't accept it. Don't accept any of my things. Please ask your question, okay? Because from here onwards, things are not completely related to database. They are also related to some other things. Okay, clear everyone? Can I go ahead from here? And then once we will complete the automation, the first task that we are going to achieve is we will automate our backup task. The first thing, very first thing that we will do. Okay, any question so far? I'm audible?
Yeah, yes, Abhijit. We are good with
Audible,
that one.
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
the post automation, like after some classes, then you're going to be continue the replication and everything.
Yes, with the
Oh,
automation tips and technology and the same concept, but I want to introduce automation here so that I can incorporate all these technology wordings and all in my further classes,
no,
because that is
that's a
very important part. Yeah.
yeah, that's
So
absolutely fine option. Yeah.
yes. So automation now, everyone just remove your glasses of DBA from here onwards. Remove your glasses of DBA. Start seeing the things from as a end to end from 0 to 10. Okay. We are not going to limit ourselves saying that we are only going to talk about database related stuff. We are going to think like end to end. We are going to think like cloud DBA, DevOps DBA, MLOps DBA, SRE and DBI. Okay. Now think from these direction. Okay. And if you are stuck, not able to think properly, you have some kind of unclarity in the mind, please stop me and ask your question. Okay. I'm completely fine. The first thing, whenever you are doing automation, this is the common workflow that I follow and it is working very well. I'm going to publish a document also on top of it to everyone on YouTube, Instagram, and to the other authorities. So the first thing is automation scope. 99% people are just thinking that automation is just automating one or two or three things. But always when you are starting your automation task, project or anything, understand the scope. Okay. Because if you are doing this particular exercise very well or properly, a lot of things can be solved in here itself. So in your scope, you have to ask few questions. What, why, and when. Okay. So under the what, why, and when, what kind of thing we have to ask? First of all, what is the scope? What I have to automate? What are the tasks? What are the projects? What are the overline end-to-end scope? What that I have to automate? Okay. So we are going to define in this particular section here. Let's suppose if in case of backup, I will say I want to automate backup. Okay. Why we have to automate the backup? Next question, why I want to automate the backup? Because first thing is resources are not available to a odd hours. Let's suppose 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Second thing, I want this process to be automated. If there is no one, at least my backup should be up and running. Third thing, my business is very critical. I need backup and I want to restore it whenever there is a catastrophic event happened or anything happened. So I want to restore it. So all these whys are going to come here. When, mean to say when you want to automate it, still your manual tasks are enough. Let's suppose manual task is for one environment, two environment, three environment. It is fine. You can do your business, your day-to-day operation without any automation. But if your automation or your task is becoming complex, critical, and they are frequent, and you are performing the same kind of task, mean to say step 1 to step 10, there are predefined tasks that you are repeating it again and again, again and again. So in that case, all these things are going to go on when, where you will decide that, okay, I want to automate it right away or 30 or you know in another 30 days. So define all these things, why, when, what, why, and when under that category. Okay. Also, when you are doing your why, also do a small exercise on ETM. Okay. Effort, time, and manage money. So if you think that effort is going to save, then do the automation. If you think time is going to save, then do the automation. If you think you can save the money, you can do the automation. All these things you can do on these things. Once all these things are ready, at least make some documentation around it and start understanding the start doing the automation. Next and very critical way is ways. How you are going to handle your scope to the automation. So basically, in whenever you are doing the automation, there are two ways, typically, very high level. Either you can use scripts or tools. Okay. So understand your automation and try to do it. Either you are going to go with the scripting or tool or the combination of both. Okay. It can be 40, 60, 40, 40, 40, 80, whatever kind of a combination you want to take, you start with that scripting. So technically being a DBA, most of the time we write shell scripts. Rarely I have seen people are writing Python script or Golang. Okay. We'll come to this also. Okay. Tools. Under the tools, we have two kind of tools, open source tools and closed source tools. So open source tools like Jenkins, Octopus Deploy, Git, GitOps, DevOps tools. Okay, all those things are in open source, and even in the closed source, same kind of tools are coming in the same kind of category where you're choosing the tools where you have to pay the licenses. Sometimes tools are local tools or web tools. Okay. Local tool means like the utility which is installing inside your server. Web tools are nothing but where you are installing an agent and handling it over the web. Okay. Is this clear? At least till here. Tools, local and web. Is this clear? At least till here. These things are very important. If you are not clear, you can ask your question. So if you ask me local tool, I will say Ansible. If you want to understand web tools, I will say you can think of Oracle Grid, where your grid is residing on the uh, web layer and you are just communicating your web layer with the agent layer, or you have installed an agent. Okay. Is that clear that I have just explained? Local and web. Hello, everyone. I'm audible.
Like
Yeah.
come in which
Yes,
local
Abhishek.
or web?
Local or web. Let's suppose you have some
Yeah.
local tool like Jenkins, you are installing it, you are using it. Let's suppose Jenkins, tomorrow Jenkins says, I'm not going to give you the local software. You buy the Jenkins software and I will give you agent. Install the agent on your system and it will directly communicate with your web layer, or you can see on the web interface on your browser. So those kind of tool I'm talking about. Okay. So you're going to use script and tools. Under the tools, open source, closed source, define everything. Just think about it. Take a plain paper and pen and paper. Do all this thing analysis. Okay, I will use open source. I will use closed source. When I take all these tools, I will also understand what is my confidence on these tools. What is my expertise are there? Do I need to learn any technology, or I already know about it? Okay, all those things you will evaluate. Also in your company, you will ask whether I can buy the license or I can use open source. If use open source, what is the tool? What is the long-term support is available? What is the support model? If it is a community-driven support, don't take those kind of tool. Otherwise, if something breaks, you have to wait for community to respond. So sometimes we take closed source tools. Okay, till here we are clear. Okay. Again, very important thing. From here, the main concepts which every DBA has to understand. Shell and Python. When to use Shell, when to use Python. And here is the modernization of the knowledge comes. Okay. Here, if you are not clear, you can stop me. We can have a discussion. So normally shell scripts are manual scripts. Mean to say, let me tell you the manual script. And here I will say library driven scripting language. Now you will ask a question, what is manual scripting and what is library driven scripting? Okay. So let's take an example. When you are, let's take an example, my traditional example, kitchen and ordering food from Swiggy. So under the kitchen, you are preparing your own food. When you are making any recipe, are you going to grow your own vegetable? Yes or no? Do you grow your own vegetable? Or let's suppose you are making tea. Do you grow your own tea? Then you come process it and then make the tea powder. Same way, sugar, you go and grow the sugar cane and then do all these things. Are we doing that?
No.
We are not at all doing it. The products are available. We are just combining it and making a recipe. In the Swiggy, it goes to the next level. There, even I'm not doing all those things. I'm getting box pack food or box pack item, which I just take and consume it. Okay, that's what we do. When I'm talking about the manual scripting, when I say manual scripting, it means we are building everything by our hand, step by step. Mean to say, if I want to check whether process is up and running or not, I will simply go and write ps-ef pipe grep redirect to a log file. Then I'm doing the analysis of this log, and I'm telling, okay, process is running or not, all those things. But if it is a library driven language where already some libraries are already available to do this, okay, in other words, normally what we are doing, we are taking a backup. So what is the traditional way of taking backup? I can simply shut down the database and copy all the files. Okay, that is the traditional way of backup. But the non-traditional way of backup is I have a utility. I am simply going and running that utility, and my backup is done. I'm taking full backup. I'm taking incremental backup. So that tool is nothing but a kind of library, right? Where everything is set up under name of PG backrest. I'm simply calling this library and my backups are getting done. Yes or no? But let's suppose your company decides, Nagesh, I'm audible.
Yes, yes, Abhishek, you're
So
audible.
let your company decides PG backrest is very dangerous utility. PG backrest is very harmful utility. Let's write our own backup tool. Then what will happen? We will go and see that Postgre is written in C and C++. So what we will do, we will hire C and C++ developer, and these developers will write a new backup tool. Let's suppose V1, something like that. And this V1 utility is going to be used for the backup. Okay. And you will be the responsible person to manage the entire binary. Okay. So whenever is possible, always try to do the automation or try to do the scripting where your libraries are available. Now you will ask a question, why? Okay. So same thing. You are not growing your tea, you are not growing your sugar, you are not growing and going and getting all the step one by one. You are just buying some of the things from the specific vendor. Basically, sugar is from a vendor, tea is from a vendor. In the same way, when you are writing your automation, if you are manually going to write everything, your automation is going to be very large. Okay. So always try to find a language where things are already available. Okay. Let's suppose, for example, tell me one thing. We have used this language, right? Library Python Faker. How many of you know this Python Faker? We have used it, right?
Yes, we
In our
use it
Yes.
last
many
classes.
classes. Yeah,
Can you, is it possible for you to write the same thing in shell script?
Very good.
Any idea?
No.
It is possible, but it is going to take a lot of time for me to develop the solution. I will write everything. I will find the solution, and it is going to take long time. Okay, this time can be infinity also, right? I don't know when I am going to finish it. So what I am going to do, rather than investing on my time to find the something which can create the mock data or dummy data, I will simply use Python Faker. Okay, and I will get my task done. Okay, so here are the differences of manual scripting and library driven scripting language. So if you want to modernize your knowledge, which I'm going to do in the next session or this session also, so use the library driven things. Never reinvent the wheel if wheel is already invented by someone. Simple concept. Don't go and unnecessary write the code. Don't go unnecessary waste your time. Even you have the power of chat GPT or anything, try to utilize the thing which is already available. It saves time. It saves the research and development phase also. Okay, the first thing. Second thing, whenever you are using any open source tool, try to understand the tool end to end. Try to do a one level of POC and try to install it and see all the features. Okay, make sure you have lot of help is available on the internet. Don't try to find a technology which is very efficient. Let's suppose I have a very good car. Okay, I live in a very remote village of India, and I found a very good car. Okay, which is giving me a lot of mileage, lot of seat space is available. Car is like 100 on 100. It is very good. Okay, but unfortunately this is very new car and there is no service center nearby my village. Should I buy this car even though it is the best car in the world? Should I buy this car? What is the decision that we should take? We should not buy this car. Even if it is a best car, the post maintenance things are very high. I don't know. It is going to defeat my main purpose, core purpose. In the life, we have two kind of purpose, core purpose and fancy purpose. Okay. Core purpose should not be get defeated by all these challenges. Core purpose has to be driven or has to be there. So that thing should be there in your mind always whenever you are choosing any open source or closed source tool. Next important thing that you have to understand is whenever you are using the open source tools, what kind of functions are available? Either parallel execution is available or not. Speed is another factor that you have to understand whether you can do the compression kind of thing or not. I'm just giving you an example. All these things you have to do very well. Do the analysis in the closed source, price, feature, and in further how many years of support or licenses you are going to get. All those things you have to do. Once your scope is defined, your way is defined, now you have to come and start working on very important part, which is workflow. Are we clear till here? Are we clear till here? Are we clear?
Yes,
Any
Abhishek.
question? Workflow. Workflow is very, very important. Under the workflow, you have to understand about few concepts very carefully. What steps you are going to perform to achieve the automation? What is the frequency that you are going to do? Okay. What kind of execution you are planning to do? It is single execution or nested execution. Do we clear this step? Step is nothing but self-explanatory. I will going to do A as a ls minus lrt. B, I will do cat minus my log file. C, I will grep warning, error, failed, like that. Frequency, how frequently I'm going to run it. Daily, weekly, nightly, or monthly, yearly, all the frequency you are going to define. This is very important thing, single or nested. Do you understand this? Single execution or nested execution, how many of we understand? If you have seen the explain plan, you have seen this thing. What is single and nested? When your execution is happening most of the time 101, it is nothing but single execution. Nested execution is mean to say one job is started, it has started two more jobs. Again, these two more jobs has started three more jobs. And in any point of time, if anything fails, one execution has to be stopped or it has to be start doing the next step. So 1, 2, 2.1, 2.2. If 2.3.1 is getting failed, the entire execution has to be stopped. Right hand side execution can be continued and it can come back and give the result. So this is nothing but nested execution. Okay. So think about a scenario where your one task is dependent on other task. This other task is dependent on other task. Like that, you have to think about and create the workflow in a such a way whether you want to do with single task or nested task. Okay. So this is the thing which you have to decide and start working on that direction. Now, once this is done, okay, another thing which is important, which comes under the scope, which you have to think once your workflow is done, at least you are good with your workflow. Okay, I got my workflow done. I want to do the automation. Come again and the scope. Let's suppose due to XYZ reason, never ever trying to achieve in the result part, never ever try to achieve 100% of the automation. Okay, always try to do the automation in increments. If you want to do your automation 100%, there are chances you will not achieve the end-to-end goal in the first go. Okay, so in the result part, always try to go with this approach, the percent of the automation. Initially, you are targeting for full, okay, no problem. If you are able to achieve full, try to do the full automation, or in the next scope, try to do the incremental automation. At least some part of the things are incremented, or also you can think for the modular way of automation. Okay, at least today, in another 3 months, I will create 20% of the automation. uh, Another 4 months, at least I will create a module for the installation plus configuration. In another 7 to 9 months, I'm going to create this module and this installation automation, and I will use it for my replication also, something like that. In another 12 months, I'm going to do the clustering automation. My single script is going to install the entire Petroni cluster, something like that. You can think like that. So even you can go with the modular approach also, where you have divided your automation into bits and pieces, where you are selling installation. Okay, my first priority, module one, module two, configuration, module three, let's suppose streaming replication, module fourth, I will do the cluster installation like that. So at least you are very well clear, your mind map is ready that I'm going to do the full automation, or I'm going to do the install in the increments, or I'm going to do the modular installations. Okay. Second and very important thing, under your result.
Abhishek, just a doubt over here.
Mhm.
While doing the streaming replication, so are we going to use any automation like
Yes.
for the failovers? We are going to do use that?
We are going to we are not going to use automation for failover, but we
Okay.
are going to talk about the automation failover technologies like EFM cluster and all. But we are
Okay.
not going to. But for the installation and configuration, I will show you the Ansible script how to do that.
Okay.
And I will also explain you that how it works. Okay,
Okay.
that's why I'm bringing automation in between so that I can cover those topics also. Okay, so here another important thing, when you are your result, or when you are in your planning phase, always try to do whenever you are writing your automation, either you are in this phase, either you are in this phase ways or in workflow, try to write the generic automation. What is generic automation? Mean to say, if I'm creating a backup script, this backup script supposed to work with all the environments, even if it is 10G, 11G, MySQL 5.7, Mongo 4.3, okay, Postgre 15.15. So it's supposed to work at least with all kind of versions, all kind of flavors. Also, it should work on across the table. Mean to say, your backup supposed to work on all the Linux platforms at least. Okay. So why I'm telling you why your automation has to be generic, because if you are not making it generic, you are making it specific, then every time you have to come back and change your automation. Let's suppose today this is your development 01. Here the development 01 have host, port, username and password. So what you did under your automation, you have hard coded these values. Then what will happen every time when you want to do the same kind of automation for other environments, every time you have to go and change the code under the your script. So try to make your automation in such a way they are generic, they are also parameterized. Mean to say, in my script, this is my script, let's suppose script 1. Every time, rather than changing the script, I can simply pass these things as a variable to my script. Mean to say, if I am writing a script, I can simply pass the host name, port, and username and password, and my scripts are ready. Is this clear? This part, generic part, and generic and specific. because we are going to create a lot of generic script. Is this clear? Everyone? Can I go ahead? At least till here?
Yes, Abhishek.
Yes.
Okay. So now we are clear that we are writing a generic script. Also, can I wipe this out? Everyone clear? Can I wipe this out? Anyhow, it is recorded, so you can get it. Now understand one more thing. Under the tools, another important factor, under the tools, try to understand how you are going to trigger your automation. Okay. Your automation can be time-based trigger, event-based trigger, or manual intervention trigger. Do you understand this? Let me write it again. Your tool which is going to start your automation can be based on multiple factors. One is trigger, which is going to trigger your automation. So here triggering can be time based, triggering can be event based, triggering can be manual. Do we understand all these things? Because this is the basics of our DevOps concept, CI/CD, pipeline, and all those things. What is time based trigger? What we can, what kind of tools we can put inside this category?
Cron job.
Cron job, Windows scheduler job, right? This is time based trigger, right? What is event based trigger? What could be the event based trigger? What
If
is
a
event
partic-
based trigger? Mhm.
if a particular, for example, yearly, if we do a DR drill, so during that time we can take. So a particular event happens, then we have to take the steps.
Correct. So for example, I'm running a deployment script, and in my deployment script, it goes and checks whether there's any current backup is available or not. The moment my deployment script finds that the current backup is not available with the current time tag. Let's suppose today is 17th January 2026. So my deployment script finds that current timestamp backup is not available. Then what it will do? It will trigger my PG backrest incremental backup process or full database script. And what it will do? It will take the backup first in the place, and then it will trigger for the deployment as a next step. Do you understand this event? So my deployment script itself will check whether my backup is available or not. If backup is available, it will go for the next step. If backup is not available, it will run a backup. Is that clear? At least event base? Everyone?
Yes.
We also have mixed category also, where we are combining time plus event. Okay. So where we can apply time plus event? Where we can apply time plus event automation? Any example? Any idea? Time plus event.
Backup,
Mhm.
scheduling a backup on.
Okay. Can you explain me how time and event is going there?
Because I have the requirement that I need to take backup a daily basis, a particular time.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
will create automation script and I will schedule using a contact.
Mhm.
And it will also give the notification, the status of backup, whether it's successful or not. If it's failed, it's going to give the notification of failure also with reason.
That is more time driven. right? Everyone agrees with me. It is more time driven, right? I'm just scheduled it. It will take the backup. But what will be the event and time?
So DBM is scheduler in Oracle.
Yes, time plus event. But just give me an example so that everyone can understand that.
Yeah,
Because these are the
daily.
interview things. That's why I'm asking again and again.
Yeah, daily
Partition
start job.
drop.
Huh?
Daily start job.
Daily start job is again just starting the job and
No,
it will run.
I mean frequently is daily, every 2 or 3 hours.
Mhm. Then again, my time is triggering, right? There is no event
Well, you
that
can
is
say
happening.
like a file system, that if file system is 90% threshold cost, then it's going to trigger a reclaim phase. Even your
Mhm.
data file also table space is 90% filled. Then you're going to be start adding the data file in the table space in Oracle terms.
Okay. Okay. Let me give you another way of use case, whether either it will be event plus time or event. Okay. Any sequence is going to work. Let's suppose I have a table. This is mainly in the context of data engineering and data pipelining, because that also we have to understand and do it. Okay. So let's suppose every day I have a job which runs on 12:30. Okay. 12:30 a.m. If this particular job is finding on certain logic that data is stale or fresh. Okay. If it finds the data is stale, it will go and reload the data from the source. If it is finding the data is fresh, it won't run. Okay. So timing wise, I'm running my job, but my job internally checking all the events. If events are getting matched, whatever event I'm trying to do or whatever condition I'm trying to do, it will run, or either it will not run, or either those events are matching or not matching. Okay. So those events can be static event or dynamic event. Dynamic event, that just now you have explained that my file system is 85% full. So dynamically it happened, right? So I should be having some kind of monitoring on top of it, or some kind of cron which is checking after every second or every few seconds that it is how much percentage is there. So in the initial stage, 85% will go into the warning state and 90% or 95% will go into the error state. Okay. Warning, error, and the moment it becomes 97%, it will go into the critical state. Okay. So these are things are there when you are writing the automation. And if you are a SRE, site reliability engineer, or DBRE, these kind of automations you write and put into the systems. Okay. So either time, event. What is the manual one? Manual is very pretty explanatory, where you go and run the scripts manually. Okay. So all these triggering can be done. Now the modern part. This is just a knowledge which we already know, which we can get it from YouTube or all those things. But now let's modernize our knowledge and put the triggering part to the tools. Also, the orchestration that we have to understand. Tool, basically tool plus orchestration. So what is the orchestration? Orchestration is nothing but where we are orchestrating multiple tools, we are joining them, we are integrating them, and we are building a solution. Okay. So what tool I can use for triggering or orchestration? Which tool comes into your mind first?
Jenkins.
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 Very good. Jenkins. Next. So Jenkins will go in which category? Jenkins will go into the which category if I'm doing it currently? Or let's suppose we are writing a automation end to end. So
Triggering job.
triggering job. So currently Jenkins is going to trigger my job. Triggering can be how many kind of? Automatic, time based, or event based, or manual. Time
Manual.
based and automatic are same most of the time. but all these things are there. What Jenkins is going to trigger? What it can trigger?
Specific
workflow.
task like
Okay, let's run down the task also. Shell or Python script, utilities like people who are from the Oracle dump, data pump, MySQL dump, PG backrest, MongoDB dump, Elasticsearch dump. All those things it can trigger, right? Anything it can trigger, right? Which I will call it utilities. What else it can trigger? It can also trigger certain plugins. We will talk about all those things when I will create a use case. So Jenkins have its own plugin. Let's suppose Jenkins have AWS plugin. So using AWS plugin, I can initiate all my what I can initiate, what I can trigger, what I can trigger, my cloud specific tasks. See, my task is here to give you all the options, all these things theoretically first, and later we can build a solution out of it. Can you see here? Jenkins have lot of agents available. The more, lot of plugins available. The more you understand about the plugin, the more you can write very good automations. Make sense? This one, this particular thing. Can you see here? This particular plugin can be used to create EC2 machines. Is it clear? This particular.
Those are integrated with Jenkins.
Correct. And there is a very good marketplace available for Jenkins where you can go and find a number of plugins. Let's suppose I want to create an automation for Postgre. So I might get a lot of Jenkins plugins. Can you see this? Postgre database related plugin. Like that, I have multiple things available which I can use to integrate with my solution. Okay. So again, what I was trying to explain you, that when your wheel is already invented, don't go and create the wheel. So what this plugin is doing, basically you can collect to your database and you can run the queries. Okay. So you can simply download this plugin and you can integrate with your Jenkins on run. Okay. Is this clear? At least what this plugin is achieving, it is achieving to run some kind of query from the Jenkins. Okay. So even can you see in the left hand side, they have given you the triggering point also. Build trigger, wrappers, notifiers, deployments. So build with the parameter. N number of opportunities are there to transform or to do the automation using Jenkins. Okay. So never ever go and just write your solution. Try to find the Jenkins plugin also. Just go back. Let's go back to our solution. Tell me one thing.
Abhishek,
Yeah.
one question.
Yeah.
So do we have plugins, like suppose if I have a database and I want to give access to particular user or create a user and give access to particular tables in a database. So are those type of plugins available
Plugins
in
are,
Jenkins?
yes, there will be some plugin for that. So we can find that. So you can simply go to the Jenkins plugin section or go to the Google. For example, let's say Jenkins plugin to create a database user. If there is any specific plugin is available, you can go and find that plugin. And you can read about all those things. So I don't find any plugin now. Let's suppose let's find it for MySQL, because MySQL is very popular. MySQL database plugin. Plugin to add. Oh, this is just to add the database driver. But like that, you can find the plugin. So let's suppose I don't have plugin available. What I will do next? Let's suppose I don't have plugin. What I have, how I can achieve my automation? What are the other options I have?
We can create a shell script and
Very
put
good.
those. Yeah.
Shell script or database script or anything, we can put it in the plugin section. Or sorry, we can put it in our job section and we can get this done. Okay. Now, I don't have Jenkins. What else I can use?
Ansible.
Today, Ansible. But Ansible is not going to trigger by its own. It will come under here. Basically, Ansible doesn't have the functionality to trigger it, or you have to write some kind of Ansible clone or something, a job which will trigger it. Basically, I'm talking about triggering things because that is my main thing which I want to give you multiple ways where you can trigger it.
We have GitLab. We can use
Hmm?
Bitbucket pipeline,
Very
GitLab
nice.
pipeline, AWS pipeline.
Very good. Bitbucket. So what he is talking about? What is Bitbucket? So I want to modernize your knowledge, all those things. We have a solution like Git where we can go and integrate our automation whenever there's a code change, whenever there's a script change, automatically Bitbucket will sense that change and it will apply to my automation. Mean to say, whenever let's suppose I have configured Bitbucket in a such a way, I have a script. In the script, I'm writing create table, insert, update. Let's suppose I have 10 lines. The moment I will add one more line and I will make it 11 line code, automatically Bitbucket will sense this change. And based on my instructions, it will go and apply the changes to my database. So basically, it is nothing but a CI/CD kind of workflow where or whatever changes happens to my code, it takes and it apply to my database. One interview question, very important interview question, which I ask normally. Let's suppose you are writing these kind of automation. Let's understand this automation. In my script, I have create table, create index, insert statement, update statement, and delete statement. I will ask multiple questions, try to answer it. First step, I have deployed into the database. Now, some accident happened and I have to roll it back. How I'll do it? This deployment I did by automation, deployment done by automation. Now I have to do rollback. How I'll do it?
So we have the version control.
Version control.
Flyway using, I mean, generally for this integrated with a Bitbucket. I mean, we need to create a pull request, DDL automation or DML automation as a part of.
So basically, whenever I'm writing a script of main code, I'm also writing a failback or rollback script. That's what, right? In a general terms. Insert statement, which is inserting 5 records. I will also write the delete statement with the where clause where I'm removing these. Insert 4 statement, main script, rollback script, deleting these 4 records. Like that, right? Is this clear? Rollback?
But if we have we have an update script and we run an update on let's say 1 lakh records or 10 lakh records, then rolling back could be difficult, right? In DB case.
That's why I'm asking this question.
Yeah.
All those things that's why I'm
Same
asking.
goes for a 100 GB alter. If you run a 100 GB table alter and then something we need to roll back again, then that is again a difficult work to do.
How to control it? What is the best way to control all these kind of changes? It's an interview question asked in one of the biggest Japanese company.
So always have
basically,
a rollback plan properly. If it is 100 rows,
No,
if it
which
is
we
one
have
row.
talked. Which we have talked. What is the next important thing?
review, proper code review is required
That is
before
also
we
done.
trigger.
Done.
Okay.
I'm sorry, huh? Done. What is next? There are some few important things which we are missing. That's why I'm putting a mind map inside your mind so that you remember all these things always. Very fundamental things.
Can you repeat your question clearly so that we can?
I'm creating a pipeline, deployment pipeline, create table, create index, insert, update, delete. This is my main operation. Unfortunately, I want to revert this operation, roll back. What is the most efficient way to rolling back?
Begin and rollback, you mean? Transaction begin statement and rollback.
Very good. Very good. That's what I was expecting. First thing is, whenever you are writing your insert, update, and delete, try to put them in the transaction. Okay. On top of that, the way Raj was asking, if I'm doing 1 million or 2 million or 10,000 updates and deletes, try to create your statement in such a way so that they are running in batches. 100 batches or something in a transaction. The moment anything happens, we have to just go and roll back the transaction. And once the transaction is rolled back, my data will be back to the original. Okay. If the amount is so big, let's suppose I am talking about GBs or TBs of data. Let's suppose I'm doing the same kind of thing for my cloud database. Hypothetically, I can take a snapshot also. If any point of time, if something happens, I can simply restore my snapshot or I can do point in time recovery. So all these things. Second thing, let's suppose you are doing all these kind of things. Think like a developer also sometimes. If you have certain indexes are created and you are doing the index insert operation, big insert operation, you're writing the automation, try to disable the index for a time being. Okay, and insert it. Once insert is done, again your automation will recreate the indexes. But these all things are subjective. Okay, so first thing is write the transaction. Second thing is try to write the transaction in batches when you have certain big number of things. Okay, if you are not clear about all those things and you are doing it manually, make sure you are writing proper exceptions. Okay, and technically this is just a discussion. That's why we are talking about all these things. We have some third-party tools are also available, like Flyway. Rather than doing all these headache, I will use Flyway, or I will use what is the other tool name that we use very efficiently? Forgot that name. Liquibase. Okay. Is it clear that what I'm talking about here?
So one more tool is there, XLR. That is also very popular.
XLR is also very popular. XLR, CICD, I think. So there are a number of tools available in the market. Okay, you can use them. So is that clear that what I was trying to ask here? So is that clear? Can I go ahead? Because I have to so many things. I have a lot of topics that I want to talk about quickly, and then if time permits, I will show you a few things, or I will do it tomorrow. So is it clear, right? Bitbucket and all those things, triggering thing, Bitbucket is there. Also, we will talk about GitOps, where we are writing the code, we are changing the code in the Git, and everything is going to happen on the Git level, just to modernize your knowledge. Okay, we'll talk about GitOps also. I will explain you about GitOps because this is another way we are handling the automation or changes. Okay, GitOps. What else? What else we can use here on the triggering part? Anyone? What else we can use? Anything else which comes? What else we can use? Okay, so let me give you the answer. So we can also use some third-party tools like Octopus Deploy, which is also getting popular in the market. We can also use Bamboo, all those tools. So whenever you are free, try to explore about all these things, because this is going to give you a very edge in your CV. And they are very, very easy. Don't think they are like just a rocket science. They are very easy. You can simply download. Can you see all the big companies are using it? It will give you a lot of edges in your CV and all those things. Okay. So you can deploy Bitbucket. But if you are good with the Jenkins, 99%, all these tools, you can easily understand. Okay. Clear? Under the what also we are clear, we are going to use Ansible script, shell script, all those things. They are done. Okay. Under the Jenkins, we can use plugins. These plugins can do multiple things. They can be like anything like cloud related plugin, the local environment related plugin, Linux related plugin, anything you can use. You can go and search in ChatGPT or in the Google, and you can get the plugins done. Okay. Are we clear till here? Are we good? Because I have few more important things which I want to talk about, which is the modern way of writing automation, which I'm going to start from today. Clear?
Yes.
Just let's take a 15-minute break and we'll be back. It's fine?
Yes. And please stop the recording.
Yes. Today's session is going to be very interesting, very informative. In case you have any question, just stop me and ask about all those things. Okay, I'm stopping the recording.